Okay, I went ahead and did some markings on it for the chimney itself. I took down the hat a little bit more. I might do a little bit more yet, but what I had done was the way I did the blocks is you kind of have to measure it in 3 parts and then mark it where you want to start, and just take your finger again against your block and follow it all the way around, and that will get it all into the same area. And same thing with the next line down. Then to do these, I usually do a brick at the top, and then what you do is you turn around and see if it's in the same location. If it is, you do the top and the bottom, top and the bottom, top and the bottom, and then you do half of that for your next little line for your little blocks underneath to offset it. Okay, so you're going to go there and turn around and do this one, and then all these blocks will be the same size. So again, the short one is half of what this is. Okay, will be your short one, and then you do each corner. That will give you the center piece, and then this, when you do the top one, will also be your bottom one. Alright, so that's how you mark them all off. It's pretty simple, not real difficult. So they kind of offset each other each row. If you look at this larger one that I had done, I actually put 4 rows, anywhere from 3 to 4 rows I put on one. This one's a little bit longer, and you can go right down the center, and then you offset it and do half of that, and then you do the little blocks, and then it'll give you the center block. If you do the half a block on the ends, it'll give you that center block that you're looking for. Okay, and just stagger them, and that's how it works. And then later when you go to paint it, you paint the little gray in between the brick part. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, it's really important that when you do this, that you do not notch it right at the end. Try to make it as minimal as you can. So I'm going to just notch it a little bit, get my just a tiny bit. You don't want to take it down to here and swipe it, because you're going to lose that corner. So you just want to notch it out a little bit from top to bottom. Okay, and take your knife over, press it down a little bit. That'll give you your nice straight cut that you're looking for. And what I do this with a knife. You can use a V-tool if you want. I like it better with a knife simply because I get a crisper look to it. It's a little difficult to get those lines exactly right, and I'll tell you what I mean by that when I get to it. Okay, so after you do that initial cut, and you score it, or you take your tip down through there, you're going to just hold your knife a little bit at an angle, just trim that off. Okay, ever so slightly. Turn it around and try to keep the knife at the same angle. Go nice and easy all the way down, so it's the same, and that's how you get your notch in there. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to take that at the same angle, take this down a little ways. Now if it doesn't free up, just do the top, and it should come out. Try not to yank it out of there. Okay, so that's our first row. Alright, we're going to do the second row here. It's a little different when you have the feet there. You're going to put a little notch there. You don't want to put it real deep. You want that corner to sit there as much as possible. Take your knife down and around. Okay, I'll do this side, and this is how you do all the sides. It's no different. You do the other. You can do the other 3 sides on your own, but I'll show you how this works. Okay, so I take my tip of my knife and I put it down pretty deep, maybe a 1/8 of an inch or like 1/16 of an inch, and slowly just take it very slowly and as straight as possible, and the same amount across as you can, and try to keep all the lines the same thickness if you can. And if you're not happy if it's a little too thin like that one, I'll just go back over it later, just kind of match it up with everything else. Alright, so that's how those lines are put in there. It's pretty simple. It just takes a little practice if you're not used to doing a stop cut. Just doing a stop cut and a very small V cut. on either side of that stop cut. Alright, so that's how you do all these bricks going across. Now to do the actual lines going down, you just hold your knife a little bit at an angle, bring it down, turn it around, and go about maybe 1/16 of an inch and pop it out. Now you can go back and clean that up as you need to. I usually try to stay on one side all the way with the same angle, and then turn it around and do them all at the same time. Just like so. Alright? Let me take this over here and take a look at that. Now, the only other problem you may have when you do this is that it doesn't clear. When you do this cut, it might be hung up there. Just take your knife, push it in there, and that should free it up. Okay? So I'm going to do the same thing with these. Let me do that here where I can see it a little bit better. Okay? And then I go back on the other side. I just notch it out. It should pop right out of there. You know, try not to pull it out. Try to keep your lines as straight up and down as you can. So that's what it looks like. Okay, so when we're done, that is what it looks like. Alright, so that's pretty well it for that. I'm going to trim this off a little bit. I'm going to put the heels on the shoes. Let's go up here a little bit and just notch this out a little bit. Alright, same thing over here, about the same height, a little bit underneath that line so it doesn't all look the same. So these are going to be black anyway, so it's not a big deal. Okay, I notch it a little bit in the corner, the outside corner at least. I do the inside as well, just a tiny bit, just to give it some, a little bit more than just an oval shape to it. Alright, this comes down a little bit anyway, a little bit more. This comes down as well. Alright. That's his feet. Now you can trim all this stuff off. You know, when you do the color black, it won't really matter as much because you do want it a solid black. But it does look nicer if you can trim that nasty bandsaw marks off of there. Alright, so we're going to go back to the hat. We're going to trim. We're going to round off that edge like I normally do first. Let's do that. Okay. Okay, we'll be right back. We're going to keep going with this. Alright, I'll be right back.